York County is so much more than just a stop for gas on I-80. 17 County is filled with unique individuals with unique stories just waiting to be told. Welcome to the 17 County Podcast with your host, Emily Perry.
This is 17 County Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and listen on your favorite platform. This helps our podcast grow, and we thank you for your continued support. We would like to thank our York County Development Corporation stakeholder investors, AgriProducts, BGIN USA, Cornerstone Bank, York General, Central Valley Ag, and York State Bank. Without these great stakeholders, we wouldn't be able to focus on the growth and development of York County here at the YCDC. So thank you. And now, let's get to the conversation.
I am here with Jeannie Simons. She is a local business owner of Jeannie Faye Creative Connections and Workshop, and recently she won an award at the YCDC Spark Contest. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
Of course. So tell me about you. Where are you from?
I am originally from Rifle, Colorado. It is on the western slope of the Rockies, right on the Colorado River. I usually tell people it's where the mountains go from pointed to flat tops.
Oh,
So
I like that.
And it was a real creative area, lots of art galleries. We'd go up, it's close enough to Aspen and Glenwood Springs that we'd go there a lot for art club and our photo club and just visit the Aspen Art Museum and the different galleries downtown. It just really sparked my love for art and seeing what's possible.
Very cool. Very cool. What brought you to York then, if you didn't originally grow up here?
I guess I'd just say York College brought me here.
Very cool.
I went to school there for a little while, and I stayed in York over the summer. It's where I met my husband, and he's from Nebraska.
Cool.
I stayed here.
Yeah.
So I've been in the York area, I think around 20 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Never would have known, huh?
No.
That's awesome.
It's so different here from where I grew up, and I wanted to bring that experience that I had there, just surrounded by art, and make something here. There are a lot of galleries in Lincoln, but there just isn't that kind of representation here, I noticed.
Yeah.
But I've always had a workshop at my house, just wherever we lived. I always had a little space where I would sew or draw, paint, make things.
Very cool.
And I would always help friends out and family because they had some projects, and I always had the supplies for some reason. One of my favorites was we had a friend who was working on some miniatures that he was doing for like the role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And he made these intricate sets that you could move around. And he had mentioned that he wanted a magnifying glass with a light. And I just ran to the other room. I said, hold on. And I went to the other room, and I happened to have one. And so I was able to give that to him. It was exactly what he was looking for.
Wow. That's awesome.
Just things like that seem to happen a lot. That I just happen to have that little thing to help someone finish their project.
That's awesome.
I did that in art school, too. My roommate, she was in the interior design program where I was a sculpture major. She was taking 3-dimensional art class, and she was really struggling. And she'd have these assignments that were due the next day. She didn't know what to do. So I'd ask her, what's the assignment? And so she'd tell me, and I'd help her get her project done. And she got A's on every one.
Wow. Nice to have a friend like you.
Yeah.
So did you grow up super crafty, or did you like get into this in your like young adulthood?
My first memory of being crafty was I was too young to be part of the 4-H group that met at our house. My mom and her friend were the group leaders, and this new clay had just come out. It's like Sculpey or Fimo, but it was when it first came out. It's like an oven-baked clay. And they were in the living room, and I just saw it on the kitchen table, and I just made something. And then I heard later they were asking who made it. I thought I was in trouble.
Oh.
But they were surprised that, you know, my little hands had made whatever was in the picture in the book.
Yeah. Wow.
So my mom signed me up for a pottery class because we lived across the street from the community college.
Yeah. Very cool.
Last time I visited my parents, my mom gave me all the little sculptures that I had made when I was little.
That's cute. Probably like comparing it to what you can do today too.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Okay, so what got you from like there, just like having fun with your hands, into this more like entrepreneurship mindset, like hosting your own business and stuff?
My dad had his own shop all growing up. He did upholstery.
Oh, okay.
And it was just normal to me and my sisters that you could have your own business. And even my older sister has her own business, and both of my younger sisters have done their own too. And just the thought of the workshops that I've had at home, I really wanted to share that with others.
Yeah.
And it was just a couple years ago, I decided to go back to college to really learn how to make a business happen out of it, to try to develop an art space.
Very cool. Yeah. Try to share what fun you've had throughout your life and be able to give that to others. I love that.
Right. It's something that I always hoped was available. So I kept saying, wouldn't it be nice if someone had a workshop you could come in, use the space, and have the supplies and tools available. And then just through the years, I was like, I can be that someone. Why not do it?
Yeah, I love that. Did you always know, like, when did it click that you wanted to start your own business?
I'm not sure, because it formed so slowly.
Yeah.
'Cause I always knew I wanted something that was my own.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the wanting to work for myself, but to build a community. Just as a space of other artists to get together. Because even hearing about like the different art movements and our like art classes and slides and all that.
Yeah.
How cool would that be to be part of an art movement?
Yeah.
Where they all just live together, made together.
That is really cool. It is such a community within those art, like the art of community. But no, it is really cool. Switching a little bit into your business, can you tell me a little bit about it?
The best way to explain it is it's an art department for grown-ups.
I love that. I really do. I love that.
The art department at my high school was incredible. We had 2 amazing art teachers, and we did everything from sewing projects to clay. And if there was something in particular we wanted to try, our teacher would find it for us.
Wow.
So
I love that. Such an accessible teacher.
yes, she was great.
That's awesome. So what are some of the things people can do coming to your business?
We have paper crafts and yarn crafts, and those would be like paper crafts. Have you seen the beads that you can make from recycled paper?
I haven't actually. Can you explain it a little bit?
Sure. It's these different strips of different length.
Oh, and you
of
like
paper.
fold them together, or
You roll it.
roll it together?
So you glue and you roll it around like a toothpick or something. So it has a hole, it becomes a bead, but it has like this pattern on it from the paper. Something that I've called yarn painting. I'm sure someone's already called it yarn painting.
Yeah.
You have just a sketch drawing and then different colors of yarn, kind of gluing it onto the material.
Wow.
So it makes you can do some interesting things with that.
I bet you could. Different types of yarn, different types of sketch. Goes so many different ways with that.
And I don't have a full sewing area yet. Something I would really like to have. I do have a machine at the shop currently, and trying to figure out how the space would work with that. Because my intention was to keep the messy works, like with the paint and canvas, away from the fabric and sewing.
Yeah. I bet it would be really hard to keep everything organized in there. Just thinking of my tiny little bit of craft stuff, it gets messy very quick.
It does. I worked in production for several years, and I did like some 5S training at some point where it's like you keep your space, your workstation organized, everything where it's at.
Yeah.
And I used those principles for a efficient workspace in my own spaces at home, where there are times where when you want to do a project, all the time that it takes you to gather everything, to clear the area, like sometimes by the time you get everything together, you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
And then you're having to like clean it up too. If you're using the dining table, you can't leave it there the whole time.
No. I definitely remember growing up making my parents a little mad a few times because of that exact thing. Can you tell me about the Creative Sustainability Program you guys working on?
This is something that I'm really passionate about, and my sister Colleen, she is also passionate about it. It's the whole idea is using reused materials, using what you have and making them something new. Colleen is making bags out of old t-shirts.
Oh, cool.
And many of the materials I have are given to me by people who they don't know what to do with some of these supplies, but they don't want to throw them away. I had an uncle who, after his wife passed, she had a bunch of yarn and other supplies, and so he gave those to me. And it was the same with an aunt, that she would give me her supplies too, just like paint and paper and all of that, because it was not in the best condition where if you were to take it to a thrift shop, they might have thrown it away.
Yeah. But you could figure out the best way to work with it. Yeah. I like that, because there's probably a lot of stuff that's just like sitting in cabinets because people don't want to throw it away. But they know that if they can't really donate it to the normal thrift stops or it's a really good program.
So I'd like it's not fully incorporated because there's like a cycle of it where others bring in materials to donate, and then I sort and make them available for someone else to use for their own project at a lower cost. And then if they have any leftovers, it goes back into the supply cycle until it's used to a point where it no longer can be.
I like that though. You mentioned blue lockers previously to me outside of this podcast. Can you re-talk about those?
Sure. Some projects take a lot of time, and not everyone has the time to spend an entire day working on whatever they want to work on. And these lockers are rented by the month for only $8 for the whole month, where you can put your project away and it's safe. There's padlocks we've got, and then you can come back later, another day, after work, whenever.
Yeah, it gives someone that safe space to put all their stuff, and they don't have to take it home. They know it's secure.
They know no one's going to mess with it.
Yeah, that's important, because I remember even in high school, and you did this big painting and then you just set it on a shelf. You gotta trust the system a little bit there. I remember that. You also mentioned you guys have this bring your own system that, I mean, it's not your only system, but it helps a little bit. You want to talk about that?
I really have just started all of this, and it's happened so fast. It's like it's been in my mind for so many years. It's like putting it into words is a little difficult.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to be able to show people what I'm doing, where it seems to click when they see the space, where they're like, oh, I walk in and there's a gallery, and small gallery, and I have a menu that shows different products, and and services that we have. And the focus is on the workstations. And you don't have to purchase one of our art kits to use the workstation.
Yeah.
It really is bringing your own to do it yourself in that space.
That's cool.
At Cornerstone Bank, we are committed to providing you the best in banking products and service. With 46 locations throughout Nebraska, we are dedicated to serve you. Cornerstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This episode is brought to you by Collins Aerospace and York Public Schools. Now, let's get back to it. Because, I mean, I think about it, a lot of people probably have, like, work in progress, like, projects that, and they just don't have the space or the time, or they have pets or kids.
Yes, yeah.
And they don't have the bandwidth or the space, you know? So just having that space that they can go and dedicate. Yeah, that is really awesome.
Those are exactly the people that have been excited about this space. Is a lot of moms where they've got younger kids, and they can't have scissors out and focus on making that.
It is such a good idea. How did Jeannie Faye physically end up where it is now?
It's also finding this space there was a lot of struggles, but I'm also grateful that I didn't get some of the spaces I looked at previously, because I don't think I could have survived the pandemic or the nature of a place like that where people gather. I'm grateful that I found the space I did now. All I did is I reached out to the owner of the building and asked if she'd be willing to lease it to me. And so we met, and I told her kind of what I was looking for, and she agreed to let me use the space. And so I fixed it up, and
just found a place with everything.
It did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I couldn't think of any reason to not do it, because sometimes you can make so many excuses to not take that next step.
Oh, yeah.
Or even when you've tried so many times, you just want to give up. And when this opportunity came up for that location, I couldn't think of any reason not to do it.
It's a good sign.
Yeah. Because I'm still able to work part-time at the beginning of the week, and then I work the rest of the week at the shop, the location, Jeannie Faye.
Awesome.
So I can continue to have an income while I'm trying to...
Yeah. You're not putting everything on the line for it, but you're still able to, like, see, my mind goes blank. You're not putting everything on the line, but you're still able to pursue what you really, an end goal, want.
Right.
Yeah. That's fair. So, where can people find more information on Jeannie Faye?
Oh, you can go to the website. It's jeanniefaye.com.
Oh, amazing.
And that's where you can schedule appointments for the different workstations and view some of the project kits that we have. There will be some artwork displayed and some art prints.
Amazing. What is your favorite part of owning a business? It's a very wide question, but have you worked on it long enough to nail down what your favorite part is, do you think?
So far, it's seeing what I had in mind come to life.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I have some sketches of when I was renovating the space. I just took some before shots and printed them out in black and white, and then did sketches over top of the paper of where different items would be, like the gallery racks and the drafting table and the sewing spot, and looking at those images next to the real space. It's just really satisfying to see that my imagination has come to life.
Yeah. It's like completely followed through. That's really cool. I bet it's very cool to have those black and white photos that you drew on next to like photos of the space. That would be really cool.
I have a friend who's helping me do just that. So
yeah, that's awesome. So you participated in our Spark program.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me how you got involved in that?
Lisa Hurley told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking to her over the last several years since I first had the idea of starting this business. It was probably 7 years ago was when the first time I told her about it. And then every time I have a new landmark or milestone, I come back and ask her for advice or tell her what's going on. And this last time, when I was able to tell her that I had a physical space, she told me about the Spark contest and encouraged me to apply, so I did. I was able to meet the deadline and participate.
Very cool. So how did it go?
It went pretty well.
Yeah. You won an award.
I did.
What are you going to use with those funds?
The space I'm at, the door is pretty nondescript. You can walk past it, not really know it's there.
Yeah.
It's on the south side of the building, facing the Sun Theater. Just a glass front door. I'll be getting a decal. What's that? It's like those full color graphics that are put on glass. Just so it has some signage, because there isn't a lot of space on the exterior of the building for signage. So that door would be just the perfect spot.
Yeah.
So I use that. I really am already thinking about the bigger picture and expansion. And most of the award I'm setting aside as part of my working capital so I can pursue a small business loan.
Very
so
cool.
that I can provide a sewing area and a dedicated gallery instead of putting all that's so much into a smaller space.
Very cool. I like that. That kind of touches on my next question, but what are your future plans? Your like big wild dreams for Jeannie Faye?
That's a good one. I'd like to have long-term private studios for artists where they can have their businesses out of there. There's a place like that in Omaha called the Hot Shops.
Okay.
Where they're either private art studios that they rent, and there are many that do run their business out of there.
Very cool.
They are a large scale, of course, in Omaha.
Yeah.
But I've seen other places like that just around the country. I did a visit to Arizona recently and took a tour of an art studio there. And the main thread that they have is that the private art studios, and they also offer classes, which I would like to offer classes on the regular, just having just monthly themes and staying consistent where it's just known if you want to do a class, take a workshop, you can do that. And really finding other artists in the area, not just artists, also craftsmen that want to show their skills and teach too. Because Jeannie Faye is a big idea, and there's no way I can do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I know that there are enough people in this area, not just York, but the 30-mile radius around. They're just skilled individuals that would love to share the things that they know.
Yeah.
That's the biggest dream, is just making it like a place for a community to get together and do.
I love that. I think this could be a really good, even in the stages it's at right now, it could be a really good opportunity for just people to get together and have that community. I really like that.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so getting a little less serious, little less big picture, we're going into our hot potato questions. These get pretty simple. But first, staying on theme, painting or sketching?
Sketching.
Sketching, really?
Yeah.
You always liked sketching a lot, or?
I do. Most of my art it's hard to stare at a blank page and figure out what to do. So
Yeah, it is.
oftentimes I'll scribble all over the blank page and then turn it around and different images can come out just for that inspiration.
I like that. That's very cool. Okay, hot or cold weather? Remember how cold it was yesterday.
Yeah. I'm going to say hot.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Especially because it's winter almost. Fruits or veggies?
Veggies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting more into veggies in my adulthood. It's crazy. Okay, while consuming media, fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
Yeah?
For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a good science fiction.
Yeah, me too. I can really get into fiction that's based on nonfiction. Both sides there. Okay, sunshine or cloudy?
Cloudy. I like a good overcast day. That's not cold.
Same. The sun is nice, but not when you're trying to drive and it's just staring you in the eye. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like a lot of artists are just going into the night. Okay, extrovert or introvert?
Introvert.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel you there. Is there anything I didn't touch on, or do you have any parting words of wisdom?
I wish I knew about this question before. May I read my mission statement?
Yeah, of course.
I just wrote it the other day.
Yeah.
It happens to be a haiku.
Oh.
Bring visions to life. Renew cast-outs to treasure. Make real connections.
I like that. That's cool. That's a good little parting word. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad we got to chat and hopefully get the word about your business out there more, because I think this is a really good opportunity for our community.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
In closing, we would like to again thank our stakeholders, the people who help us drive change. We would like to thank Henderson State Bank, Midwest Bank, Mead Lumber Company Incorporated, Nebraska Public Power District, York News Times, Collins Aerospace, and Perennial Public Power District. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. Until next time.